Hi, I'm Helen, and if you've been coming to my sessions at Beacon View, then you'll have some idea about what Writing for Wellbeing is. But if you're coming to it for the first time, then all you'll need is a piece of paper and a pen. There will be a poem that you'll be able to find by Googling it later on in the session. But that's about it. So if you're sitting comfortably, then we'll begin. So Writing for Wellbeing is about using creative writing as a process, a kind of gently therapeutic process, rather than focusing on the product of writing, which is, producing a short story or a poem. So Writing for Wellbeing is for you. It's about using creative writing for your own purposes. You don't have to share the writing with anybody. You can keep it entirely to yourself. There aren't many rules. Basically, if you start doing a writing exercise and you feel that you don't want to go any further or you're feeling uncomfortable, then stop. Don't push yourself beyond what feels right for you. And if Writing for Wellbeing brings up any issues or difficulties, then seek a professional counsellor to talk to about those. When you're doing this by yourself rather than in a group, when you've done your writing, have a look back through what you've put and notice anything that's interesting or unexpected or surprising that comes up. It might be that if you're doing this at home, that you're doing it with somebody else. But again, remember that when you come to the sharing of the writing, if you don't want to share what you've written, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so to start with, I would like you to write down the day of the week, but write it on the page vertically rather than horizontally. So for example, if it was Friday, it'd be the F at the top, then the R, then the I, D, A, Y in a list below each other. And then I'd like you to think of a word that starts with every letter that makes up the word of the day of the week. So like Friday, a word that starts with an F, a word that starts with the R, a word that starts with the I, and each of those words is exploring how you feel about the day. So it could be that Friday is a fun day, it could be that Friday is a relaxing day, it could be Friday is interesting, whatever those words are, negative, positive, just how you feel about the day. So have a go at that. Then what I would like you to do is to see if you can think of 10 qualities or attributes of the coronavirus, because that's what we're all talking about at the moment. So for example, it clearly likes places where there's lots of people together to be spread around. So see if you can write down 10 qualities. When you've done that, take some or all of those qualities and translate them into a person. So if the coronavirus was a person, what would they be like? So they'd obviously be somebody who likes places where there's lots of people gathering, for example. So make them into a person and then describe that person. How would they behave? What would they look like? And then describe what would happen if they came into the room. What would you want to say to them? So have a go at writing that. Okay, another activity that we use in Writing for Wellbeing is we use poetry or writing by other writers as a kind of springboard to prompt our own thoughts about something. So the poem I've chosen for today is What Kind of Times Are These? By Adrienne Rich. You can find it on the internet. I'm going to read it out for you, but again, it'd be quite helpful if you had a copy of it in front of you. So what kind of times are these? There's a place between two stands of trees where the grass grows uphill and the old revolutionary road breaks off into shadows near a meeting house, abandoned by the persecuted who disappeared into those shadows. I've walked there picking mushrooms at the edge of dread, but don't be fooled, this isn't a Russian poem. This is not somewhere else, but here, our country moving closer to its own truth and dread, its own ways of making people disappear. I won't tell you where the place is, the dark mesh of the woods meeting the unmarked strip of light, ghost-ridden crossroads, leaf mould paradise. I know already who wants to buy it, sell it, make it disappear. And I won't tell you where it is, so why do I tell you anything? Because you still listen, because in times like these, to have you listen at all, it's necessary to talk about trees. So have a go at reading the poem for yourself on the page, and with a pen or pencil just underline or mark what words or phrases stand out for you, and then think why have they struck a note with you? How do they make you feel? Some examples that you might want to think about are what is the edge of dread, or where is the unmarked strip of lights for you, or for you, who is still listening? And also, what trees would you talk about? If you're going to talk about trees, what trees would they be? It might be that the phrases that you've underlined are totally different to those, and that's fine. Go with what you found. But just write from them. So just explore how you feel about those words or phrases for a few minutes, and then look back and interrogate what you've actually written. Okay, so moving on from that, take a type of tree, any type of tree. And then I want you to describe it. So I want you to describe how it looks. You might want to describe it at different times of year, or just as you see it when you think about it. How does it feel? How does the bark feel? How do the leaves feel? How does it sound when the wind's rustling through the leaves? Does it have a particular smell that you associate with it? So once you've done the description, imagine that your tree was a person and think about what it would say if it could speak to you. So try putting it in the first person, so become the tree. I've seen this, or I've felt that, and give it a conversation, something that it would say to you. And finally, as a final activity, think about where your happy place is. Where do you like to go that makes you feel happy? It could be somewhere that you've been on holiday, it could be your garden, it could be somewhere in the countryside, it could be a particular room, anywhere that makes you feel good when you go into it. So describe it. Imagine that we can't see your happy place, so describe it for us, and then just write how it makes you feel when you're in that space. And again, use your senses. What's that space sound like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? And then just describe the feeling that you would have being there. If you do these various activities, it will probably take you about an hour. You can dip in or out of them. You can switch the video on or off. But I just hope that they help to make you feel relaxed and explore perhaps how you're feeling in the moment. So I hope to see you back at Beacon View very shortly, and enjoy your Writing for Wellbeing. Thank you. Bye.